Okay, so when you hear the phrase adult entertainment industry, what's the first thing that comes to mind? We all have certain images, right? But behind the camera, there's this whole other world, a complex system of business, law, and really strict professional standards. So today, let's peel back that curtain and really demystify the systems that make this industry tick, looking way beyond just the performance itself.
Wow. This quote from industry veteran Dimitri XXX just cuts right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? It immediately throws a bucket of cold water on that idea that it's all glamour all the time. I mean, that 5% sounds great, but what about the other 95%? Well, that's exactly what we're here to unpack.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to break this down into 5 key areas. We'll start with the huge gap between the pitch and the reality. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of finding legitimate work. After that, we'll cover the professional toolkit every performer needs. Then we'll flip the script and look at the producer's legal burden. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see what this demanding career really looks like.
So first up, pitch versus reality. This is all about separating what people think the job is from what actually happens when the cameras are rolling.
You know, this slide really lays it all out. The myth is so seductive, right? Fast money, easy work. But the reality? It's a whole other universe. Insiders talk about having 20, sometimes 30 people on set. You've got directors, camera operators, lighting techs, sound crew, everyone. Scenes are constantly being stopped and started to fix a camera angle or adjust a light. It is so much less about spontaneous passion and way more like a grueling, meticulously planned day at the office.
So, let's say someone decides, okay, I understand the reality and this is the career for me. The very first challenge, and it's a big one, isn't the performance itself. It's finding legitimate work and learning how to dodge all the scams out there.
Scammers just love to prey on newcomers in any entertainment field, and this one is definitely no exception. These red flags are absolutely crucial. If anyone asks you to pay for an audition with cash, gift cards, anything, it's a scam, full stop. They also love high-pressure tactics, you know? This offer expires in an hour, or don't tell anyone about this amazing opportunity. A legitimate production is a business. It operates like a business, not like some shady back alley deal.
And on the flip side, when you look at these green flags, there's one word that just keeps popping up: transparency. A real casting call will have details you can actually check. There will be a real audition process, and if you land the part, you'll get a formal written contract that spells everything out. Legitimate professionals are not afraid of your questions. In fact, they expect them. It's all about professional conduct.
So if you take only one thing away from this section, let it be this. It's the cardinal rule for any performance-based industry: you are providing this service. You are the one who gets paid for it. Money should always flow to you, never ever from you for a chance to work.
Okay, moving on to the performer's toolkit. So, once a performer finds that legitimate work, the job demands this whole other set of professional skills that honestly have almost nothing to do with what happens on camera.
This isn't just a job. For most, it's like running your own small business. First, health is absolutely non-negotiable. Regular STI testing, we're talking as often as every 14 days. It's just standard practice for safety. Then there's the legal side. You have to be so diligent, reading every single word of a contract to know what you're getting paid and, crucially, where that content could end up. And on top of that, you're an entrepreneur. You're responsible for your own taxes, finding deductions, and planning for the future.
And this slide really hammers home that business owner mindset. It's not just about showing up to perform. It's about having the right professional boundaries. Using a stage name and separate contact info, that creates a vital firewall between your personal life and your professional one. And that point about online permanence, wow, that is so critical. Once a scene is filmed and it's out there on the internet, it's there forever. That one fact shapes every single decision a performer has to make.
All right, let's switch chairs for a second. We've talked a lot about the performer, but what about the producer? Because they are operating under a massive legal burden that's specifically designed to protect performers and prevent some very serious crimes.
The absolute cornerstone of this whole legal framework is a U.S. federal law, and you'll hear it mentioned a lot, called 18 U.S.C. 2257. Its main purpose is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly important to make sure that every single person depicted is of legal age, and it enforces this by requiring some super strict record keeping.
So what do those records actually look like? This table breaks it down perfectly.
Producers are legally required to keep a performer's legal name, their date of birth, and a clear copy of their government ID on file. But, and this is a big but, to protect privacy, really sensitive info like a home address or social security number can and absolutely should be blacked out from copies that get shared around. It's all about striking a balance between legal proof and personal security.
And get this, the responsibility doesn't just stop with the person who filmed the content. Anyone who later publishes it or duplicates it or distributes it, what they call a secondary producer, they share that same legal burden. They have to make sure those original records exist and are all in order. It creates this chain of accountability that follows the content wherever it goes.
Okay, so let's move into our final section and really put all these pieces together. Because when you add it all up, the business side, the legal stuff, the on-set pressure, you start to get a clear picture of what is, by any definition, an incredibly demanding career.
And we come back to Dimitri XXX, which feels like the perfect way to bring this all home. The job is a test, but it's not just about performance. It's a test of your business skills, your legal diligence, your personal resilience. It requires you to navigate all these complex rules, manage your own finances, and protect your own health and privacy, all while dealing with the pressure of being on camera. It is a career that demands a very, very specific set of skills and temperament.
And this really brings us to our final, bigger question. We spent this time looking at the legal, financial, and professional framework behind one specific industry, but this idea applies everywhere, right? Whether it's the tech world, mainstream filmmaking, or even manufacturing, there is always this massive, complex system of unseen work. The contracts, the regulations, the logistics that makes it all possible. What does that unseen work look like in the industries you interact with every single day?